Uh, Welcome to the Wonderful World of Odyssey podcast. We have Bree with us. Paul's not here today because he has allergies. And this is our first ever episode we're going to talk about. Today's episode is Wonder World. And the info on the book it says, Jimmy Barkley thinks he's too old for West End, but he learns otherwise while babysitting an imaginative boy named Lawrence. So, my question is, have you ever had someone babysit you that had an imaginative? Did you ever have a imaginative mind when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I remember babysitting for somebody who did.
For somebody who did.
I would babysit, and they were very, very creative and had an imagination and stuff. So yeah, I remember doing that. Besides playing with my brother, no, I don't remember off the top of my head of anything for me. What about you?
Well, when I babysat for my cousins, they had a very, very good imagination. Almost one of my cousins was like Lawrence, who had like a destructo lab kind of thing. He wanted to be a secret agent,
Nice.
and he was the boss apparently of me,
Huh.
even though I was older than him. But it would have been cool to see like Jimmy and Lawrence like do more Wonder World stuff.
Yeah, it would be cool if they did a few more Wonderworld type episodes.
Like I remember the first Wonder World episode was when Digger Digwell he made Wonder World come to life,
Yes.
and he was featured in the episode Heat Wave.
Yes. And Jack was being a private eye.
Yeah, and they were by Greenblatt's department store, was it?
Yep.
With the bad joke alarm.
The bad joke buzzer, yeah.
There's a lot of leaves we can look around for. What was his private Oscar? That's it.
Yeah.
Oscar was a character, for sure.
He was awesome.
He and Oscar and Lawrence would have been a good pair to be friends with.
Yeah. It would have been interesting should they do Lawrence and Jared together.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Because Jared had quite the imagination too, and all that.
But how old was Lawrence then? Since Jimmy had to babysit him, how old was he? Because they've known Lawrence for a long time.
I don't know.
Because Lawrence has appeared in other episodes before that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they had to get a different actor to play young Lawrence.
Maybe.
Because they're doing that now. They have to get actors that move on or pass away or get old.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they had to do that to the actor Lawrence. Because that was a good That was one of the good shows. And then they also had Terror from the Skies, which we talked about with Dave Griffin.
Yeah.
Did they ever have a Halloween episode?
Yeah. Um.
What are we going to do about Halloween?
Yes.
And they also, does the Twilight Zone really count as a Halloween episode though?
No, I would say, what are we going to do about Halloween? Because that actually deals with Halloween.
And why the parents didn't want their kids to be dressing up as Bible characters.
Right.
Which I wouldn't mind dressing up as a Bible character and hearing a lesson.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know about other parents.
I think I think parents have to kind of decide that together, and one might have grown up not celebrating it, the other one might have grown up celebrating it, and so it's something you guys discuss and decide together. You know?
Mm-hmm. Veering off topic, like we always do. What was there an episode where they went in the imagination station to see Ecclesiastes, like Solomon? Because Solomon wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. Wasn't there an episode?
Well, they do the Tower where they do the Tower Battle.
Because right now my pastor is going through Ecclesiastes on Sunday mornings. And I'm trying to think if there's any other episodes I can look. Telemachus was not one of them. The tower, like you said, was one of them.
Yeah.
Uh, Trying to see. It would have to be in the later episodes, right?
I'm trying to think.
Well, I've got the book here, so I'm trying to look through episodes to see. So far, I'm only seeing the tower. This is our first time doing this, so if it's slow, just bear with us.
I'm trying to think, and
Or maybe there's like an episode where Bernard tells a kid a story. Because there's a lot of those.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Where could it be? No, not on solid ground. Which is about Sodom and Gomorrah. That's another good episode.
Yeah.
I like it when they do the BTV stuff. So it could be in one of those episodes.
Sorry. Um,
Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So did you figure out which episodes that it could be in?
not off the top of my head.
And if you guys have any ideas for us what the episode could be in, tell us, please. I'm trying to look through the Bernard and stuff, see if he ever told him a story. Cause that really can't be the only episode, but you know, I mean it could be. There's Bernard and Joseph.
I mean, he tells the story of Joseph, but I'm trying to go through and I'm not.
See
I actually think that might be the only one.
what the tower?
Yeah.
I thought Elijah was one of them, but that's not in Ecclesiastes.
Right.
On one of the albums, the new albums, there was like Solomon and Absalom, where Matthew and Camilla or Olivia go into the imagination station.
Yeah.
Is that just Solomon though? I mean, I could always look in the Bible too, or I could look on one of these albums that I have right here, standing in front of me. I think it's on album 64. No, it's David and Absalom. I think, I guess that's probably the only episode then. It felt like they did more though, but that could just be me because I listen to Odyssey all the time.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I listen to it all the time, also, and so I'm like, trying to go back through and
Let me see. I'm gonna type it in on Google. because my pastor is teaching on Solomon, on Ecclesiastes. We're going through a series, and I'm trying to tie it in with an Odyssey episode, but that's not really working well.
Yeah. That's an idea for them to do, though. But,
Oh, the Adventures in Odyssey episode that features Ecclesiastes is titled The Perfect Church, where Matthew goes back in time,
oh, yeah.
where it sends Matthew on an imagination station adventure to see the first church in the book of Acts after Matthew sees problems at his own church. But how does Acts and Ecclesiastes tie in together? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's probably one of my favorite episodes, but oh, here we go. There's more episodes for Ecclesiastes. I hope they know that I'm talking about the Bible. So there's The Price of Freedom, Stormy Weather, where Wit tells Connie when Wit's in the hospital, or when
Yeah.
they're doing that through that tornado when Wit's saying prayers, Bible verse prayers, and Hold Up, where Wit's End is robbed. Uh, Cars, Trains, and Motorcycles. That's a club episode. Fences. Back to School. The No Factor. That one's funny.
That one is.
That's where Connie takes on too many projects, and
Yeah.
Eugene is frustrated with her. I mean, you really can't blame Eugene, though.
Right.
Oh, and Back to School is one of them, too. That features Ecclesiastes. Like, Ecclesiastes verses, you know?
Yeah.
Um, there's really not a whole lot of, Esther. Esther's a good one that they did, too.
Yeah.
Like Bernard and Esther. Wasn't that with with the two Jacob girls?
I think
Because I
so.
know Bernard and not Jonah. Bernard and
Joseph?
yeah, Joseph. Because that was with the kid named Joseph.
Yeah.
Because Joseph had more brothers than the Joseph kid.
Yeah.
I'll be right back one more time. Just so you know, this leaving thing isn't going to be a thing. I mean, when I do leave, you can also talk in front of the camera. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Joseph.
Oh yeah.
He had my brothers.
Speaking of, they made a reference to Joseph in the first episode, Witch Flop. When Bernard said
Yeah.
a cone of many colors. Because Wit gave him that sherbet ice cream.
Yeah.
And he said, a cone of many colors.
Yeah.
And then Wit's like, well, you could give it to your dog.
And then he goes, I thought you
And then he
liked
goes,
my dog.
Tom. They have some funny references in there.
Yeah.
But it's also funny because it applies to different people. Like your everyday lives, like
Right.
what they do for a job and how they communicate with people.
Yeah.
Did did you like have a favorite episode that had a favorite Bible thing in there? Like a favorite Bible story that was your favorite?
I think I don't really have a favorite Bible story. That's the thing. Um, I've gone. I feel like because of where I am in my life, um, you kind of in different seasons in your life, different parts of your life, you go through different Bible stories in a different, you know, kind of way where you can kind of feel like God's calling you to be Jonah and go here, but you don't. There, that's the one spot place you really don't want to go, and so you like dig your heels in and you try to go everywhere else, and then eventually something happens. And you end up going where God told you to go in the first place. Um, around Easter, the story of the imagination station with Digwillow, having the imagination station adventure and hearing the story of Christ, and realizing just how much he paid, the price. Um, that those kind of stories are great to listen to around Easter, kind of deal.
And when Jonah was told to go to Nineveh, he didn't want to go.
Right, exactly.
God was telling him go to Nineveh to preach the gospel so these people can be saved. But he said, no, I don't want to because the place is evil.
Right. So,
And so I think Paul might be joining us, but so like when Jonah was told to go to Nineveh, he didn't want to go because the place was evil, and God told him if you can't go the other way because they didn't tell you to go that way. And then he winds up going on a boat in the other direction with a storm. And so they tossed
right.
him overboard, and the storm stopped. My question is, how did he get to Nineveh if the storm stopped? It wasn't still going. Because it stopped, and they couldn't bring him back on board because the storm would be going still, and they brought him back.
The, remember a great big fish swallowed Jonah?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so he was in the belly of a great big fish for 3 days, and then it spit him up.
Yeah, that's true.
So could have been done that way.
And that affects us because sometimes we don't want to go where God tells us. Like if God tells us go to church or go be a missionary somewhere. And we don't want to go because we're scared. I mean,
Or maybe
I would be scared if I was called to go to be a missionary to some foreign land that I don't know about.
well, sometimes it's even just being nice to somebody who's been really mean to us, or loving up on somebody who's really hard to love up on, and you're like, no, why? Why should I be nice to this person and give them another chance? And then it's also a little bit like Peter, because you feel like God's saying, do you trust me? Like, yeah, I trust you. Do you trust me?
And then he became Simon, right? Simon Peter. That's just like in the Chosen episode where he was called Simon instead of Peter.
So.
You can keep talking. I'm gonna see what I did wrong with an email real quick.
No, I just think that a lot of episodes are relatable, and it just kind of depends on the season that you're in right now, the depth of your walk with God, and that kind of thing, on what stories that you hear with Adventures in Odyssey that are more relatable. For me, I know one of the ones was Forever and Ever Amen in the Lord's Prayer thing.
Oh yeah, that one.
Um, that hit me because I have experienced miscarriage, and so for me that was tough. But hearing about how they had a miscarriage, and stuff. So for me, that one was relatable at that time. Um, you know, Our Father is relatable to me because you you have kids, you watch them grow, that kind of thing, but you realize, as a parent, you love your kids and you want you hope you will taught them well, that they will grow in their walk and in their faith.
And it's also kind of like the episode uh, Afraid Not, where Danny has where Danny's being
Yeah,
followed by a girl that has a crush on him.
yeah,
That related to me as a little kid in school. My next door neighbor, Mackenzie. We She had a crush on me, and I was always afraid to hang out with her. But it was hard because we hanged out every single day, and she didn't want to tell me that she had a crush on me. So, like Danny, she punched me in the face. And like Danny, I lied about it, and I didn't get in trouble, of course, because it wasn't my fault. But we also went to the same school, so it was hard to keep her away from me. And living next door didn't really help either. So there were two similar differences between Danny and I. We went to the same school, and we lived
yeah.
close to each other. But we ended up being really good friends. And I even shared the episode with her, so she was like, I didn't know you were afraid of me. Like, well, you punched me in the face. How could I not be afraid of you? And then the three funerals and the wedding, where every one of us supposed to be getting married.
Yeah.
My sister Rosie, she held a fake wedding for me and Mackenzie. Like Mackenzie even had on her mom's wedding dress and everything. And my sister tortured me to get dressed handsome and nice. So I could not leave my room until I got dressed up nicely. I don't want to do it. And then she's like, well, you better, because Mackenzie really wants to do this to you. And it wasn't, and it was her mom actually wanted it to be like the real thing in case we really did get married one day. So she gave her mom's wedding ring. We didn't have vows or anything. We just had cupcakes at the end. So that was my kid marriage thing. Did you ever do anything like that? I'm guessing not.
No, I think my biggest thing was having a crush on somebody for many, many years. And his name was Lance. He knew about it because I couldn't say my W. I couldn't say my L, so I said, I love you, Lance. And yeah, that for me,
Wasn't very fun.
that's mine. Yeah.
So there are some resemblances to Odyssey episodes. Mine was the marriage thing.
Yeah. Just
And people are like,
yeah.
people that are listening or will listen. I'm not married yet. That was a kid thing. But I don't know what Mackenzie's up to today. I didn't keep in contact with her.
Now see, I did keep in contact with my ex, but he was way older than me. So yeah, he used to actually like him and his sisters would constantly babysit me, and I would hang out with them.
Hello,
They'd be in
Paul.
our church youth group that my parents would do.
So,
Hi.
Paul, did you have any, what was the question that I asked you, kid marriages?
Well, kid marriages or any Odyssey episodes that are relatable to you.
What kind of marriages?
When you were young, did you ever do like a kid, like a fake marriage when you were young?
Nope.
Like a kid?
Nope.
But what Odyssey episodes relate to you today?
Last I said was like I like the one where Jules and Connie were talking about suffering. Just having to figure out what it's all about and stuff, you know?
You have
I remember
any
that.
you have any favorite Bible verses that they did in Odyssey? Like Bible scriptures?
The one that comes to mind right off the bat, just waking up from my nap, probably, I can't think of what it was exactly, but it was the one where the little boy was, walking through the woods and the young girl beat him up, and then, he said, have no fear of, I forget how it goes.
Have no fear, for I am with you.
Yes,
We were just talking about that episode.
I was?
No, we were.
Oh, you,
So you came in just in time.
uh-huh. Woke up from a nap.
How was your nap?
It was pretty good. My eyes were a little heavy when I woke up, so I think I got some good REM sleep. Had a few dreams.
So for people who don't know, you run a Bible study, right?
Not today. Everybody was sick, so except for me and my mom. So the skateboard Bible study.
What book are you in right now?
We are still in Genesis. I think we're like in chapter 10.
There any Odyssey episodes that had Genesis in it?
Mm, uh, I was just listening to one where I forget who it is, but somebody went into the imagination station and they talked to Adam.
Was it just one person?
Yeah. I forget premise of it, but
Were they playing hide and go seek or something?
yeah, that was.
It was
That
hide
was
and
one.
seek.
The young boy talks to Adam about I forget what, but Adam,
Hiding from God.
yeah, Adam tells him how like he regrets the fall and like not listening to God, what God said.
And do you sometimes relate that to your Bible study?
I don't know.
Well, it'd be a good start.
Suppose, yeah, that would be good for the group to hear that one. It's pretty good. It's made up of us adults, which are most of us are like in our 30s, and then my mom's probably about 60 years old, but she's like the co-leader, so she prays for anybody who needs help or talks to anybody, you know. And I do too. Yeah.
Have you had any situations come up that involve Odyssey?
Honesty.
Like Odyssey, like Adventures in Odyssey?
Sorry, the audio is kind of really bad on this format.
It's Spotify.
Spotify? Okay. I don't know, it just comes to mind a lot of the situations just that they have sometimes. Um, what about you?
I didn't have any, did I?
Well, you would have to tell us.
Well, I was just trying to think of what Bree and I were talking about, which situations. Well, Well, the friend thing that I told you guys about is one of them.
Oh, the friend thing from last week, or
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I listened
How
to an
much did?
Odyssey episode and that helped me out, so.
Oh yeah. Yes, yes. I actually, now that you're mentioning it, when I was going through a little more health stuff, a couple or to like 3 years ago, a lot an episode that really helped me was when they were crossing the Red Sea, and then like they just threw it in there, and I didn't know it was in the Bible till I heard that episode where he says, "The Egyptians you see today, you'll never see them again." But they threw that in there, and I was like, "Oh man, that's so good!" And it's just kind of like how some of the struggles that we're going through these days, you're not going to see them anymore. So just like push through them.
When I lost my sister, uh, here a while back ago, it really took a toll on me.
Mm.
And so I listened to an Odyssey episode called Death Wears Thy Sting. And that really helped. It didn't help me a whole lot, but it let me know that she's in a good place right now. She's not in a wheelchair no more. She's not having heart problems no more. And that really helped me grieve with her being gone.
I'll have to listen to that one. Can you like remind me of it a little bit?
Death Wears Thy Sting?
Yeah.
I'll have to read you the episode.
We have a book. Whoa.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
the Odyssey guide.
Oh.
The theme you talked about with Full Roller, that they need to update it.
Where did you find that?
Actually, the Odyssey team gave it to me
Nice.
when I went to Wind's End.
Should have tried to score a couple more for me and Bree.
I didn't have my podcast back then.
Sure. Okay.
So you want me to read the info for Where Is Thy Sting?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the death of Connie's grandmother causes her family to ponder what death means for a Christian. Connie's father ponders what death means to a non-Christian.
Okay, I do remember that one. Yeah.
So that episode really helped me because some of the people at the church that went, like her teachers, her paras, her aides, they weren't Christians.
Yeah.
So that really upsetted me because being a good person doesn't get you into heaven.
Hmm. Yeah. As so many people think it
The only
does.
the only way to get into heaven is to accept Jesus,
That's true.
and that's what my pastor taught on this morning was so many Christians today think that being a good person gets you into heaven, which is kind of sad,
Yeah.
especially for Christians, because Christians should know the truth.
Hmm.
Bree, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, it's kind of like what they did was if you remember, there was the episode, and I know what you're saying, but there was also the episode where Eugene experienced death
I
in,
was gonna
was it
say
Room of
that one.
Consequence or something?
Yeah,
Or the Imagination Station or something. He experienced death, but
the Mortal
for
Coil
him, because
episode.
he wasn't saved at the time. Yeah.
I think it might have been after the Mortal Coil, wasn't it, or no?
I think it was part two because they took care of Wit in part 3.
You know what was a little weird about that episode? How he kind of locked himself in his room. The only other time he did that was to actually have the tape of when I gave.
Me? Is it me or is he lagging?
What's that?
You were lagging there for a little while.
Oh, I'm sorry. Better now?
Yeah.
Okay. The only other time he locked himself in his room was when he was playing Bernard chess in that episode.
Yeah, that
And
was
he couldn't.
funny.
That was kind of weird. Like those were the only 2 times he locked himself in his room, when he was struggling with his salvation, and then when he was not able to beat Bernard at chess.
And then, because I remember, because he was wanting to, he's like, pickles, because he was going to make Bernard a sandwich.
Yeah.
And he's like, chest with pickles, okay. And then he strategizes his idea out loud to Eugene.
Yeah, that was at the beginning, like when they do the little fake out thing at the beginning. You want to play chess with pickles? Yes, with pickles.
And mayonnaise. Can't forget the mayonnaise.
Extra mayonnaise, because he likes tuna sandwiches, glass of water.
And a 2-minute game of chess.
Uh-huh.
I think it was 2 minutes.
Well, because he told him, he said, "Where are you gonna be at?" And he met him on his lunch break at the retirement place, something like that.
And he wanted to play chess with him, so they're like, 2 minutes.
You have a very good memory, Charlie.
I listen to Odyssey all the time.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, there was a while there I didn't, but I got the subscription.
Oh, you finally got the subscription?
I did. I had it, but I got rid of it, but I got it back because I missed it so much. So I didn't have it for like a week.
Because I could have gifted you it for free since I'm a member.
What?
Yeah, members can get it for free.
Oh, okay.
So like if we wanted it, I can get her a membership.
You don't say.
That doesn't mean you unsubscribe from it, Paul. But they put like past episodes that weren't even supposed to be on the air on the club.
Do you ever like skip episodes? Like ones you're just like, I don't really want to hear that right now, or
To be honest, this might be a little bit bad for me to say, but I sometimes skip the Bible verses at the end.
oh yeah, where Chris talks.
Because she does kind of ramble on sometimes.
Ooh, we're gonna have to tell Chris that when we talk to her.
Speaking of Bree, have you had any success?
I have not. I've reached out to her again. I haven't heard back. I'm giving it a little bit of time before that. And with a family emergency came up this week, so I have been a little more focused on that than on
The podcast?
um,
We've all been kind of busy. This is actually our first real
Sorry.
episode that we've actually talked about albums and stuff. Paul, did you check out the Life at the Pond episodes by Charlie Richards?
Life at the Pond by Charlie Richards. Remind me of it really quick.
It's centered around a group of animals that do Bible verses, and it's kind of like Adventures in Odyssey, only it's animal characters.
Actually, I might have seen that, but I vaguely remember it.
So there's Methuselah the alligator, Tony the Frog, Bill the Duck, Floyd the Turtle, and there's one more. There's a snail in the mix too, but I don't remember his name.
Is this the focus on the family presentation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyways, he's gonna be on the podcast.
Charlie
Richards.
Richards.
So there's gonna be two Charlies on the podcast. Me and the other Charlie. So just don't be confused.
What about the guy who played Charlie? You think we could get him? Or, like, not Charlie, but I mean, Charles. Or, I think they call him Chunky.
You talking about Halloween?
No, I'm talking about Odyssey. Remember Chunky?
Oh, Chunky?
Yeah.
That would
He was
be.
in a few.
I have to find out what his real name is, though.
Well, yeah.
We are
You like
getting,
what?
we are getting Ed Washington on the podcast.
You've secured Ed Washington?
Yep.
Sweet.
And I secured Jack Davis and Lucy Cunningham Schultz.
I get that. Alright, but I get to ask him about Terminator.
Who?
Me?
Ask who about Terminator?
I'm gonna ask him about Terminator 2. You know, what it was like on set.
Oh, Ed Washington?
Yeah, and to be with Earl Bone on the set too. You know? In the same scene. You know?
True. So, how was everybody's? How was everybody's church day today?
It was good. I went to 2 services.
I
had
have to go back for the Lord's Supper, so that's why we're doing the episode right now.
That sounds like fun. Is it like a whole ceremony and everything?
Well, we have bread and we have bread, which is crackers to represent, his sacrifice, and then we have juice, which is his blood. But we drink juice, And
I would do that at my church.
do you do that?
I wish they would do it every week. Sometimes I do it just at home,
Well, we do it around every Thanksgiving.
Oh, cool.
So we call it the Lord's Supper.
Nice.
And then next week, we have a chili and pie auction.
Chili and pie.
So they auction pies off, and then we can have chili while they're doing that.
Nice.
Which reminds me of an Odyssey episode where they held an auction.
You're gonna have to remind me of that. Which one?
I don't know. I know they held an auction, though. Oh, the bake sale. They had a bake sale. Courtney was trying to compete with her cousin.
Her cousin Nick?
No, that's his brother, her brother.
What about that guy?
I just don't remember what it's called, though.
Whip out that guide, boy.
Oh, it was Erica and her friend Kim. They had a argument that made in their friendship on who's better at doing whatever, like the bake sale or a bike wash.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
That's in album 22. So if you listen to album 22, it'll be in there.
They should do an episode of Odyssey where they take communion, you know what I mean?
I think, didn't they already do that?
I don't know. I don't remember one.
Well, we'll have... I like the Blackguard Chronicles. That was really good.
How up to date is your guide there?
It is up to album. If my book isn't being stupid, it is up to album 56, which is the grand design.
Okay.
This is the.
Is that the one where they kidnap Jason?
I think so. I also know that it's also where Matthew goes back in time to see the Church of Ecclesiastes.
Isn't that the one where they talk about Onesimus a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Onesiphorus?
It's one of those two. But Jason did get kidnapped in Home Again Part 1 and 2.
And then, like, he gets a little out of hand, but then, like, he says that he owns him or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I remember that one.
And Push the Red Button. That one's funny too. That's where Eugene merges programs for within and has a bizarre consequence. This podcast is a long podcast, longer than any of the ones we've had so far.
I've only been in it for 22 minutes.
We're at 57 and 24. But we did get a lot of topics talked on though.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Miscarriages.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of pregnancy episodes in Odyssey too, where Pamela has a problem.
Yeah.
Where she didn't know if she should have abort the baby or keep it.
Yeah.
Which didn't we just get through like voting for that and stuff?
Yeah, they kind of lost it in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
That's sad.
Yeah.
See, that can relate to people all over the world today who have a baby and don't want to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Pamela kept her daughter because in an Odyssey episode, Pamela goes to Connie's house and she gets to see her daughter named Sadie.
Pamela. I'm trying to think of which ones you're talking about because I do remember that was when she was having the baby and she was either teaching Eugene to drive and they drove the baby. They took her to the hospital to have the baby.
No, because Chris played the pregnant woman.
Oh, okay. I do vaguely remember that one, but I'm just still not sure. They both took her to the hospital, right? Because Eugene couldn't drive, but then he could drive then for that.
Let me look in the way back in the lost episodes. It was Connie's friend Pamela arrives from California with a surprise / she's pregnant. And in the parental warning of this book, it says the story deals with the concepts of the sanctity of life and abortion in an open and frank way.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a hard. She was in high school too.
Those always mean a lot to me because I was not unwanted but unexpected pregnancy when I came into being. my mom and dad were kind of separated, so like that means a lot to me to think like I could have been terminated like that, but thank God, and there's just so many more people that just don't see it that way, that every life has value to it.
And every child has life and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we serve a risen God, so
Mm-hmm.
we should thank Him every day for the blessings that we get, especially around Thanksgiving.
Amen.
I know we won't be recording like on Thanksgiving Day.
Or maybe we can have a special Giving Day episode.
We can't if Bree's not busy with her family or anything.
It probably won't be. I'll double check, but
I'm just gonna go ahead and ask
unless
it.
my husband makes plans without me,
But
which
what are you guys
doesn't usually
thankful
happen,
for so far?
or
What if
not.
we all show up at Bree's house?
A meetup.
Oh, come on, Bree.
Meet up at Bree's house.
No.
Your husband.
Oh, everybody can come to my house if they're ready to
Who's
come to
gonna be
Arizona
that?
because
Because
I'm
I'm
having
not.
something. I will host you and roast you.
But what are you guys thankful for so far?
Go ahead, Bree.
I'm enjoying it. Go ahead. No, I'm enjoying it. This is, for me, this is fun, and I'm hoping that those that watch it, you know, enjoy it and feel like they can chime in here and there too and tell us what they're wanting to see or a topic they're wanting us to talk about.
Paul.
I think she was looking at you when she said that,
Go
Charlie.
ahead.
Well, the two co-hosts always get to go first, and then I go last. Because I asked you guys what you were thankful for.
You pulled drink on me there, Ooh, gonna have to get you back for that one. Okay, so I'm just thankful for every day. Like I've been making it more of a practice to just lift up my hands in the morning and say, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." And then I just I open my curtains and I say, "Thank you, God, for another day, another chance to just do everything that I'm supposed to do right today."
I'm thankful for the podcast and for you guys. Because I tried this a long time ago by myself, and it didn't really work out very well. I just couldn't do it, and I'm like, I'm making a fool of myself doing this by myself.
All right, no need to get mushy now on Miss. Just kidding.
So that's why I reached out to Bree first, and she was thinking about it. And then she asked her husband, and then he said yes. Then I reached out to you like what, a couple weeks ago, Paul?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was more like a month ago.
And then you said you had to think about it, or did you jump on board right away? I can't remember.
I was on board right away. Always down for anything Odyssey.
And then I commented on your Facebook post when you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you say Bree was gonna have her husband on there? Bree, did your husband ever agree to be on? Did your husband ever agree to be on the podcast?
Did I have what?
Okay.
He told me to do it. He said you'd like Odyssey, he said you enjoy Odyssey and this is something that you would love to do. I know you
And
love it.
You're talking to your friends still about
He
merch,
said,
right?
say yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, Paul, we're getting merch situated.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Like t-shirts,
I'll talk.
backpacks, tree decorations.
I'm gonna need one of those trucker hats. You know what I mean? Nice and prominent, like with much pomp to it. You know,
Like the Wonderful World of Odyssey podcast hat.
so it can sit high off my head like that. You know, like they're supposed to wear them.
We'll get you a big one.
Or just like one of those ridiculous foam cowboy hat things. You know,
Look,
the huge.
I'll find a random white baseball cap and write the podcast on it.
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure you have a white cap and write podcast name on it. Or
Have a better.
we can. You know the logo on our YouTube channel, her son made that for us.
The logo on what channel?
On
On
our
the YouTube.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but have to check it out.
And her son is also making the music for our music intro too.
Sweet.
Well, when he gets all his schoolwork up.
He'll work. He's working on it, so he'll work. He'll.
Well, anything else you guys want to add before we end this oddly weird episode?
I'm
You're good. At least you got some topic in. I mean, it'll be posted on Spotify and YouTube. So if you want to get Spotify, you can listen to it on Spotify now. All right. See you guys later.
See ya.
I gotta go to church.